President and Mrs. Lapidus, Board of Trustee members, academic administrators, distinguished guests, Chairperson McKay, my colleagues in the nursing department, our nursing staff, our families, friends, and mostly the class of 2016. Yay. Once again, we welcome you to the Fitchburg State University Nursing Class of 2016 pinning ceremony. This is a ceremony that signifies the successful completion of a very rigorous baccalaureate nursing program and the transition from student nurse to registered nurses in the next couple of months. At this time, we would like to ask President Lapidus to come on up on stage and share some welcoming remarks.
Good evening. What a wonderful event. I'm honored to be here for this very special occasion. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the Dean, the Chair, and our esteemed faculty, I'd like to welcome you to this ceremony as we recognize great achievement. Let me begin by congratulating once again the nursing class of 2016. I know this was not an easy journey. The nursing program is a difficult one, as it should be, given the great responsibility that will be placed on you as you begin your professional careers. Yet with determination, despite the ups and downs, you have persevered, and here we are today. Each of you is to be commended for a job well done. As you reflect back on your experience as a student, I'm sure that you did not arrive here today on your own. There were many people who shared your journey with you. It might have been a special professor who led you through a rough patch or helped you master a challenging skill, or the sacrifices that your parents, family, or spouse made so that you could participate in today's ceremony. So graduates, I ask that you please stand and join me in thanking all of them for their support and give them a well-deserved round of applause. Thank you. As I began preparing my comments for this evening, I quickly realized that I had relatively little knowledge of the nursing pinning ceremony, as this is my first time participating in the event. So I took the opportunity to do a little research and found that it dates back to the Crusades of the 12th century, when the Knight Hospitallers were honored with a Maltese pin for caring for injured soldiers. Later in 1860, Florence Nightingale was honored with the Red Cross of St. George pin for the outstanding nursing work she did in the war in Crimea. In 1880, the first class of nurses was formally pinned at a graduation ceremony at the Bellevue Hospital School of Nursing in New York, and by 1916, it became a tradition to pin nurses at graduation as a symbol of excellence. This research helped me to put into perspective the rich history and honor associated with this nursing pinning ceremony. So tonight, class of 2016, it's your time. This ceremony is a rite of passage symbolizing your readiness to enter the noble profession of nursing and to provide professional and compassionate care to humanity. I know that this is an exciting time, but also for some an anxious time, and perhaps a time of uncertainty as you transition from the world of the classroom to the world of a professional career. But be assured that you graduate with a strong educational foundation and the applied skills necessary, although you might not fully appreciate it yet, to positively touch the lives of so many people who will need and depend on you. I can attest firsthand, having recently been in the hospital and having met a number of our nurses, that you are ready to make a difference. It is my hope that every time that you wear your pin, you will remember the faculty, staff, and your classmates at Fitchburg State University. Please know that we will always be here to support you, and this will always be your home. Again, please join me in congratulating the nursing class of 2016.
Thank you, President Lapidus. It is now my pleasure to introduce this evening's guest speaker, my colleague, Professor Allison Shields. Professor Shields has been educating FSU student nurses since 2005, and she was invited by this class to share some thoughts and inspirational wishes to them this evening. Allison, come on up. Hi, Bob.
I'm not used to speaking without looking at them. All righty. Well, we had a running joke during the year, because I have gone into midlife kicking and screaming about the eyeglasses, the need for them. I have my eye bobs. So I would say to the students often before we started class, gosh, I wish I had my eye bobs so I could see what I'm reading. Anyway, I am so honored to be here, and I want to thank the class of 2016 for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. Before I begin, I want to tell you a little bit about the future nurses on this stage. They are truly wonderful, inspirational people that I've been privileged to know. I've shared my knowledge of nursing with them, and I've shared many stories that have come from my experiences with the patients and families who were entrusted to my care. I hope I have imparted what is important for them to know, not only to be safe practitioners, but to be kind ones. On this stage tonight, we have people who have completed the program in 4 or 5 years. Students who were with us for 5 years may have had a bump in the road to their success. That is not uncommon as life goes. The time it takes to get where you're going doesn't matter. What does matter is you are here receiving your nursing pin prior to graduation. The class is made up of courageous mothers, foster and birth moms, one who just became a mom 3 weeks ago. And yes, she is here tonight. Let's see. She gave birth to a beautiful baby boy and returned to school to complete her education so that she may go on to do her life's work. We have students who are married, who are LPNs, who return to school in pursuit of a BSN so that they may become RNs. We have students who return to school to prepare for a second career. And many of the students are young adults who at some point in high school or shortly thereafter decided to become registered nurses. Although the student stories are uniquely their own, they share a collective goal to become RNs with baccalaureate degrees, all desire to care for humankind. To be on this stage tonight takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice, not only on the part of the students and faculty, but on the part of family and friends. Every spouse, child, family, and friends deserves recognition tonight, and I too, like President Lapidus, we have great minds, would like to ask the graduates to stand and offer applause to show their gratitude to all of you who helped them get to this stage tonight. Thanks. Thank you. Nurses make small miracles happen every day. Quite simply, I believe nurses do this by using their brain through the application of knowledge, using their hands to perform procedures, hoping to improve patient conditions, and perhaps most importantly, opening their hearts, caring for and about people in need. In the spiritual realm of nursing, we give hope, faith, and love. We learn to be patient, for we care for people who are acutely, chronically, physically, mentally, spiritually, and terminally ill. We stand on what some may call holy ground. I am talking about the heart of nursing, the commitment every nurse makes to be compassionate, caring, and kind. In her book, Notes on Nursing, Florence Nightingale wrote and recognized it was the act of kindness by the nurses that healed when medicine, clean water, fresh air, and procedures failed. Kindness mattered then, and it matters now. Basic human caring, kindness matters. It matters because it is through kindness that nurses convey what they feel about their patients and about the work that they do. It is what patients and all people, for that matter, remember when the work is done. Kindness is at the heart of the miracles that happen in practice every day. And for the nurses who are kind, it is what leads to fulfilling careers. It also leads to a meaningful life and a peaceful death. Kindness is a gift that we as nurses not only give, but as nurses we receive. Kindness is what sustains and heals broken relationships. Kindness heals broken hearts, it dries tears, it gives hope. Kindness is the platform on which caring is built. Acts of kindness are at the core of nursing. And the wonderful thing about kindness is it's a choice that every nurse has. You can choose to show kindness through your words, your actions, your ability to stop and listen. As nurses, we are blessed people. In my work as a nurse and a nursing educator, I am blessed every day through the relationships I have with my coworkers, patients in the clinical settings, and above all, our students. I've had wonderful mentors throughout my professional life. One mentor is Barbara Powers, a long-term professor here at Fitchburg State. Barbara is a wonderful educator and nurse. She was one of my professors who showed me kindness when I was a young student here in the late 1970s. I started when I was 10. She is a professor I've never forgot, partly because she was an excellent educator, but mostly because she took the time on her own schedule to help me prepare for state boards at a time when the program here was struggling. I went to her house every week to review content so I would feel comfortable going into boards. One day I said to her, "You're so kind to do this for me." And in Barbara's humble way, she said, "Thank you. I don't know if it's kind, it's my job." And if I ask most people to recall one trait about what they remember about Barbara, they will say, she is kind. During your education here at Fitchburg State University, you've been introduced to some of the fields of nursing practice. Some of you will go on to care for patients with medical and/or surgical needs, caring for children or adults. You may be privileged to be witness to the beginning of life, or you may be blessed to be at the bedside when a person's life comes to a close. No matter where you practice, if you open your heart and give of yourself, you will bear witness to miracles. And if you pay close attention, you will come to understand what Maya Angelou learned about what truly matters in life. She said, "I've learned that people will forget what you've said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." They are truly words of wisdom. In my practice as a nurse, I have been humbled and honored to care for people with terminal illness. As a nurse educator, I shared with these students, some of what I learned about what I believe truly matters in life, from caring for extraordinary people who lived, by all accounts, ordinary lives. One such person was my brother-in-law, Rob, who at the age of 55 died last August of a malignant brain tumor. He was diagnosed at age 46 and lived with cancer for 9 years. 6 years past what the doctors expected. Cancer took a lot of things away from my brother-in-law, but it did not take his gratitude for life, nor his positive spirit, infectious laugh, and beautiful smile, nor his ability to be kind. Rob was an alumnus of Fitchburg State when it was Fitchburg State College, worked in sales, and was an incredible drummer. He was a son, a brother, an uncle, a husband, a father, and a friend. But most importantly, he was a person who cared about people, and in return, people cared about him. Throughout his illness, people were there for him and his family. 400 people came out in the season's first snowstorm to a benefit to honor Rob and help raise money so my sister could stay home and care for him during his final days. Love was tangible that night. You could feel it and you could see it. Rob was one of those rare human beings who accepted his illness with grace, never questioning, why me? Not to say he wasn't sad at times, he was. But he was never bitter or angry, and he did not focus on what he had lost as a result of his illness, but chose to focus on what he had. Several weeks before he died, he turned to my sister and he said, "I feel loved." And my sister simply replied, "You are." At his funeral on Labor Day weekend, again, hundreds of people came. They shared memories of times they had spent with him, times of joy and laughter. Friends and family talked about his courage and his positive approach to living with his illness. And one common theme, his kindness. I watched and I listened. I had what has come to be referred to as an aha moment. I learned the significance of his life was not grounded in his life's roles, or what he did for a living, or what degrees he held, or what music he played, but in the love and caring he gave and received. Rob made people feel happy, appreciated, and listened to. He will long be remembered because of his kindness, his caring, and most importantly, how he made people feel when they were with him. I share with you 2 of the many testaments to who Rob was. Prior to his illness, he was a member of his high school reunion search committee. Following the event, Rob received a thank you card from the chair of the committee which said, "I feel especially blessed to have been able to get to know you. You inspired me with your enthusiasm and positive energy. You told a beautiful story one day about finding a moonwalk for your daughter's party and your joy in how it all came together. I learned from the story how you see kindness around you and magic in everyday situations." Following his death, after receiving contributions in his memory, the principal of Holy Family Academy School, where Rob volunteered, sent this letter to Athol Savings Bank employees. "I want to thank you for your generous gift to our school in memory of our friend and teacher, Rob Walsh. In the 2 years I have been here, I have never received such an overwhelming response in regards to the death of one of the Holy Family community. These donations, together with Rob's beautiful funeral and reception, are an honorable tribute to his extraordinary generosity of spirit, selflessness, and laughter. Rob was a magnanimous man, and his legacy of love we will admire and try to emulate throughout our days." Looking back over the past 9 years, and in particular this last year of his life, I think dying, knowing you are loved, is the ultimate final gift of life. And isn't that what every person hopes for? It is comforting to me that as a nurse and as a nurse educator, I can choose to do just what Rob did naturally, and by doing so, I can influence today's graduates to do the same. I hope to inspire our graduates to be mindful of the most important intervention they can give to patients, families, and each other, kindness being the foundation for love. This past year, during the Nursing 4750 course, when the students were studying the end-of-life care, I gave them a simple but challenging assignment to help them understand the heart and caring aspect of nursing. The assignment was simply this. I asked them to answer this question: how do you want people in your personal and professional life to remember you when you have passed from this life? And I wish I could share all of their responses, but here is just a few. One student said, I have never really thought about how I would like others to remember me. I feel as though a lot of people don't necessarily think about this due to the subject matter being uncomfortable, or they just don't think it will happen to them anytime soon. I hope by knowing how I would like to be remembered, it will direct me on a path that will help me live in that way. And I thought to myself when I read this, this is a bright and insightful future nurse. Another student wrote, I really struggled to find the words to express what I was trying to say. I obviously know who I want to be remembered as, but it was hard to write what I was feeling. Definitely makes you think about who you are now versus who you want to be. And then she went on to say, I want to be remembered as someone who made an impact on the lives of others. I want patients to remember the care I provided for them as a positive experience. I want to think that even maybe along the way I changed someone's life. I want my patients to know that I genuinely cared about each and every one of them, and I never appeared to be in a rush, that I gave them all the time they needed, and they always felt important. Kindness and compassion guided my everyday life. And another student, when I die, I want to be remembered as a person that made people feel good about themselves and had compassion for other humans. I want to be remembered as the person that always helped a friend in need and just genuinely cared about not only the people in my life, but the people that just needed a helping hand. Another student wrote, kindness, honesty, and dedication. Those are the things I want to be remembered for. You never truly know what a person is going through, so it's important not to judge them and treat them with the utmost respect and kindness. And another, wherever I am, I hope my patients remember me as being selfless, caring, and willing to give them extra time, going the extra mile for them, and providing hope where they may not have any. I want to be remembered the way I remembered the nurse who took care of my grandmother in the ICU, who was smart, empathetic, and amazing at what she did. I want to inspire people to go to nursing school. I want people to remember me long after they are under my care. And one last response, as a nurse, I know I will touch many lives and help many people. I want my patients to know how much I cared about them and for them, to remember my uplifting spirit and positive attitude. I don't want any of my patients to think that I was ever careless with their treatment and plan of care. Excuse me. I want to be remembered by my actions for what I did for my patients and the way that I made them feel, not by my name. As the nurse who comforted a family after a loved one passes away, the nurse who held a woman's hand as she found out she had cancer, the nurse who sat by a patient's bedside and just listened, the nurse who made a difference in someone's life. I hope by listening to some of the thoughtful responses to the question I asked, you feel you and your family's lives will be in caring and capable hands if you are ever in need of care by a Fitchburg State registered nurse. I was very proud of each student's response and comforted to know they are mindful of the art and the science of nursing. I truly hope that each future nurse on this stage this evening will honor and uphold the heart of nursing and know that kindness is a strength, not a weakness. I can honestly say that I truly love what I do for a living. I followed my heart and I found my passion. I want the same for all of you as you graduate and enter into the profession of nursing. Randy Posh, a well-known professor who gave his last lecture at Carnegie Mellon University in 2009, said to his students, "Follow your heart and find your passion. But no, you will not find that passion in things, and you will not find that passion in money, academic degrees, or in awards. Your passion must come from the things that fuel you from the inside, grounded in the relationships you have with people and what they think of you when your time here on earth is over. If you can gain the respect of those around you through the kindness you have shown, you will have found your passion and lived a life that has been fulfilled." In closing, I say to all of you, future nurses, use your brain, make safe and prudent clinical judgments and decisions. Use your hands skillfully. And when it comes to using your heart, I offer you the words that were given by the Wizard of Oz when he presented the Tin Man with his heart. He said, "A heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others." I thank you, I wish you all well, and I'm gonna miss you, and I love you. Take good care.
Thank you, Professor Shields. I'd like to now invite a class member, Alyssa Capuccio. I always love saying that name, and I used to call around class and say, "Ms. Capuccio." Come on up. She's going to actually give her class a little talk and a walk down memory lane, okay?
Good evening, family, friends, staff, and the Fitchburg State Nursing Class of 2016. I first want to start by congratulating the class of 2016. The past 4 years have been quite the journey, and each of you should be so proud of your hard work and devotion to making it to this day. Although I would like to say that I survived these past 4 years on my own, I do have to give a big thank you to Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, Hammond Cafe, Boston Donuts, and Red Bull for providing myself and most of my peers with the caffeine that has gotten us through the late night study sessions and the early morning clinical days. Although I would have gotten so much more sleep without you, I also would most likely have slept through most of my classes, so thank you. I like to think of us nursing majors as a special breed. We are the only people who choose a major where failing isn't an F, it's a C. Every exam is 50 questions, which at first sounds nice, but every multiple choice question has 2 to 3 right answers, and we're expected to know which one is more correct. In studying for an exam, well, that means blocking off the whole week of your life before the exam to study 20 plus hours just to receive a B, if you're lucky. To our peers, we may seem crazy, but we know that we're working towards our dreams. I honestly believe what they say is true. College is the best 4 years of your life. But whoever said that obviously wasn't a nursing major, because they would have also said it's the hardest and most challenging 4 years of your life. You're sleep deprived, you have information overload, and you're just plain overwhelmed. Although there are a lot of things I'm not going to miss about being in nursing school, there are a few things I will miss. For instance, carpooling to clinical at 5 a.m. with 4 of my friends, all of us so exhausted and aware of the fact that the person driving could crash, but not caring because we are the ones who got the extra time to sleep in before clinical started. And my favorite, the excuse. It is known that nursing majors have no life. So if you were asked to do something that you didn't really want to do, all you'd have to say is, "I'm so sorry, I have to study." And people would believe you like that. No questions asked, no further explanation. It's great. We started from the bottom when we were freshmen. So excited to start school, but also terrified because we knew we were about to start a rigorous program. We thought anatomy and chemistry were difficult, but little did we know what the word difficult actually meant. We climbed another step up the ladder and we made it to sophomore year. And then came the moment we had all been waiting for, the moment where we got to put on our very own green scrubs, bright white shoes, and stethoscope. Even though the scrubs did nothing for our figure, it was still so exciting because we were that much closer to our BSN. We had lots of firsts as sophomores, like our first meltdown, after taking our Patho 1 exam, our first time contemplating a different profession, and our first time understanding what being a nurse is actually going to be like. We took our first blood pressures, listened to our friends' heartbeats, and pretended to talk to a patient that was actually a simulation doll with a horrible wig in Professor McHugh's voice. Oh, and don't forget, the first time we sat on our phones and our laptops, hitting the refresh button on Blackboard to see if our grades had been posted. That is the longest time of your life. We took another step and we made it to junior year. That's where the lovely 3-hour classes 2 times a week began. We perfected the art of self-diagnosing ourselves and learning about new diseases. And don't worry, we were diagnosing you too, you just didn't know it. We watched one another start to see what specialties we wanted to work in, and our confidence began to grow. We pushed through the HESI exams, the skills labs, and the dreaded care plans, and we made it to senior year. And now we're here, about to graduate, ready to be nurses, and it's absolutely terrifying, and at the same time exciting. We can no longer go get the nurse when our patient asks for a question, or anything, really. And as crazy as it seems, I think we're all gonna be okay. I want to thank all of the professors and faculty. We appreciate the hours you have spent of your own time helping us to succeed and grow as people. I've said it numerous times, but I do not think any other school has nursing faculty that are so dedicated to their students as much as you are, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank you for not failing all of us when exam review time turned into a debate. You always told us to advocate for ourselves and our patients, and sometimes we may have taken it a little too far. Thank you to my peers. I can honestly say that this class is full of some of the nicest, hardworking human beings. I always thought that nursing students were going to be so competitive and wouldn't try to help one another, but I couldn't have been more wrong. Our class truly worked together to make it to this day, and I think that settles a lot about us as people. Lastly, and most importantly, thank you to all of you in this gym. I don't need to see a show of hands, but if I had to guess, almost all of you have had to stop one of us from having a mental breakdown. Or maybe you were too late and you got stuck in the middle of it. I know those phone calls from us at 11:30 p.m. after we just left the library, not because we chose to leave, but because we were kicked out by the librarian, weren't easy for you. But you listened through the tears and the hyperventilating, and you stood by us, and we thank you for that. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, I know that happened to you more than you would have liked, but I appreciate your love and support, and I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you to my roommates for not killing me every night before I had an exam, when I would go on a 20-minute rant on how I knew nothing and how I was going to fail. Knowing that you believed in me helped me believe in myself. To this class, I believe that each and every one of you is going to do amazing things in this career. I don't know where life is going to take us, but always remember that you can do whatever you set your mind to. And as Professor Shields always says, nurses make small miracles happen. So get out there and start making those miracles happen. And I just want to take a quick moment to thank everybody on the pinning committee. You guys did a fabulous job today, and you deserve a round of applause for that. So, good luck. Congratulations to the class of 2016. We started from the bottom, and now we're here. We made it, so thank you. And now I'd like to have Rochelle Lehman, Molly Toby, and Amanda Smith come to the podium to present the class gift to the Department of Nursing.
We'd like to ask Professor McKay to come up to the stage. Oh, start here. On behalf of the class of 2016, we would like to present our senior class picture to the nursing department. We would like to thank all the faculty and professors for all they have done and taught us over these past few years. Thank you. Okay. Oh, is she coming up? Or am I doing it?
We would also like to specifically acknowledge Professor Linda McKay, who has been at the Department of Nursing chairperson during the time that each of us have been student nurses here in this department. We understand that Professor McKay will be completing her 9th and final year as the department chairperson, and she will continue on as a professor on this program, adding to her 35 years as nursing educator here at FSU. On behalf of the graduating class of 2016, the previous 35 graduating classes, and many professors, thank you very much, Chair McKay. We appreciate all of you have done.
Right there till I finish. Okay. And now the moment we've all been waiting. And now for the moment we've been waiting for, the pinning ceremony. Everybody ready? Okay. Morgan Allen, pinned by her mother, Karen Allen, RN, BSN. Bates, pinned by her parents, Shelley and Steve Bates. Elizabeth Bonneman, pinned by her parents, Cheryl and John Bonneman. Victoria Brinkley, pinned by her mother, Elizabeth Brinkley, MSN RN, and Professor Allison Shields. Rachel Burke, pinned by her parents, Chris and Tracy Burke. Kristen Callanan, pinned by her parents, Dan and Meg Callanan. Sarah Campbell, pinned by her father, Douglas Campbell. Alyssa Capuccio, pinned by her parents, Sue and Frank Capuccio. Elise Cedrone, pinned by her husband, Paul Cedrone. Emily Clavette, pinned by her parents, Kim and Raymond Clavette. Ryan Corbett, pinned by his aunt, Pandora Allen.
It's okay.
Kelly Cormier, pinned by her mother, Laurie King. Julie Cove, pinned by her grandmother, Donna Cove. Rebecca Crichton, pinned by her parents, Kathy and Mark Crichton. Kelly Canine, pinned by her mom, Joanne Canine, and aunt, Maria Nyson. Chelsea Deloge, pinned by her girlfriend, Jessica Roberts, RN, BSN. Leah Dennett, pinned by her parents, Lynn and Matthew Dennett, and fiance, Michael Dayton. Alyssa DiFilippo, pinned by her mother, Rose DiFilippo. Ashley Doobie, pinned by her mother, Lisa Griffiths, and Nana, Pat Carrier. Kimberly Esau, pinned by her mother, Laurie Esau, and sister, Jennifer Esau. Allison Escobar, pinned by her parents, Johnny and Carol Escobar. Kate Farrell, pinned by her parents, Lisa and David Farrell. Ashley Fitzgerald, pinned by her parents, Lynn Fitzgerald and Michael Wynn. Barbara Fleuragust, pinned by her parents, Rosé Preval and Jean Fleuragast. Elizabeth Ford, pinned by her mother, Mary Beth Ford, her brother Thomas Ford, and her aunt, Carolyn Morell. Shauna Gannon, pinned by her sister, Ashton Seto. Savannah Gates, pinned by her sister, Melissa Shaw. Colleen Gibbons, pinned by her parents, Patricia and Lawrence Gibbons. Jocelyn Goodale, pinned by her mother, Linda Goodale. Allison Goff, pinned by her parents, Robert and Linda Goff. Elizabeth Graham, pinned by her parents, Kathy and Paul Graham. Molly Graves, pinned by her parents, Sue and Mike Graves. Monique Grenoble, pinned by her parents, Suzanne and Robert Grenoble. Autumn Geyer, pinned by her parents, Tina and Michael Geyer, and her sister, Jenna Geyer. Victoria Haley, pinned by her parents, Lisa and Scott Haley. Christina Hebert, pinned by her mother, Linda Hebert, and niece, Hannah Hebert. Bethany Hudson, pinned by her father, George Hudson. Samantha Kaplan, pinned by her grandmother, Paula Frame. Dominique LaFond, pinned by her fiancé, Brandon McAvoy. Rochelle Lehman, pinned by her parents, Elizabeth and Michael Lehman. Pam Lusick, pinned by her twin sons, Zachary and Jacob Lusick, and clinical professor Allison Shields. Fiona Mangan, pinned by her parents, Frank Mangan and Martha Favre, FNP. Jillian Morella, pinned by her mother, Deborah Morella. Melissa McGovern, pinned by her parents, Bonnie and Ken McGovern. Rachel Medrano, pinned by her mother, Cindy Romero. Sarah Megan, pinned by her parents, Leah and John Megan. Allison Micheliger, pinned by her parents, Ken and Suzanne Micheliger. Irina Mihailichenko, pinned by her mother, Zina Mihailichenko. Victoria O'Kane, pinned by her grandmother, Carol Sheehy, and her parents, Donna and Bill O'Kane. Lindsay Palatino, pinned by her parents, Connie and Leo Palatino. Audrey Piper, pinned by her parents, Scott and Claudia Piper. Kayla Porter, pinned by her parents, Beth and Joe Porter. Alyssa Proctor, pinned by her parents, Lisa and Scott Proctor. Alicia Randall, pinned by her husband and daughter, Dustin and Leah Randall. Jennifer Ross, pinned by her son Alex Ross and her sister Barbara Boucher. Lauren Sanborn, pinned by her husband, Robert Sanborn, and sons Christopher and Carter Sanborn. Caitlin Saunders, pinned by her mother, Christine Sahagian, and father, Michael Sanders, and sister, Amy Saunders. Amanda Smith, pinned by her parents, Laura Parenti and William Smith. Meredith Samero, pinned by her parents, Carl and Julie Samero. Caitlin Stefanik, pinned by her stepdaughter, Amber Roy, and her parents, Christina Leonardo and Bob Stefanik. Kelly Sullivan, pinned by her parents, Anna and John Sullivan. Molly Toby, pinned by her mother, Hillary Inns, father, Robert Toby, and her sister, Jasper Toby. Shayna Valancourt, pinned by her mother, Merrill Valancourt, and her grandmother, Priscilla Leclerc. Three generations of nurses, ladies and gentlemen. Brianna Vosell, pinned by her parents, Karen and Ted Vosell. Laura Zazalak, pinned by her husband and daughter, Craig and Amelie Lupien. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in once again congratulating the nursing pinning class, Fitchburg State University.
Isn't that awesome? Feel good? My colleague, Dr. Nancy Dufilly, has been asked by the students to lead them in the Queen's Pledge. Do you have yours?
Thank you, Terry. Would the graduates please rise? I pledge in the presence of all those assembled. To practice my profession with conscience and dignity. To provide the highest standard of nursing care to all people. To all people without prejudice. To act always in a manner that reflects human dignity and respect. To apply my knowledge and skills appropriately. To hold in confidence matters committed to me. In the practice of my profession. To maintain and elevate the standards of my profession. All these things I pledge freely, willingly, and upon my honor as a nurse. You may be seated.
Thank you, Dr. DeFilly. Well, our ceremony has come to an end, and I would like to say to the class of 2016, here's to an incredibly long, rich, and rewarding career in nursing. We ask that our guests remain seated as the recessional takes place. And I'd like to once again ask everybody to join in a round of applause in congratulating the class of 2016.
This is where the chapter ends. A new one now begins. Time has come for letting go. The hardest part is when you know all of these years when we were here are ending. But I'll always remember we have had the time of our lives, and now the pages turn, the stories we will write. We have had the time of our lives, and I will not forget the faces left behind. It's hard to